Welcome to Beyond 25 Live. I'm joined here today by Jamie Bursnell of Bellway Homes to discuss innovation in house building. The construction industry is under pressure to evolve. In your view, what are the most exciting opportunities for the industry to shape house building in the future?
So we're just going into a period of immense change. So chief of which is going to be the electrification of space and water heating. So firstly, my view on the innovation is the solutions that are going to come through for the replacement for gas combination boilers or gas boilers. So we're seeing that typically not UK manufacturers. So this is an area where UK manufacturing is picking up from on an East Asian kind of air conditioning kind market, bringing in for air source heat pumps. But then one of the bigger challenges we have is that air source heat pumps might be suitable for low-rise houses, but plainly probably not suitable for medium-sized flats or maisonettes. So again, it's looking at what type of electrical solution are we going to use for different archetypes and what sort of innovation will happen within that space.
And without giving that away, what sort of systems are you thinking about in those flatted developments rather than a heat pump?
So a lot of that's going to sort of be driven by where the future home standard actually comes down. So if we look at the consultation having air source heat pump and PV in notional dwelling, then it might be that we have to follow that route. However, if we've got a bit more latitude to use, say, direct electrical panel heaters alongside a renewable for domestic hot water, then that's going to be one option that's available to us. Or we're looking at different types of heat pump, maybe exhaust air heat pumps, or even ground source heat pumps connected to an ambient heat network. And that leads us on, one of the other challenges of electrical heating is actually going to be grid capacity. So we've got to look at areas of a nation where we can start shifting loads or actually creating less point load at the dwelling itself, which again, this is where that type of innovative ambient heat network might come in, because ground source heat pumps will use less energy. So therefore, can we get the scheme in under or within the loads that we can get from the utility?
Okay, fine. And more about you, Jamie. What first inspired you to focus on modern methods of construction and innovative approaches in house building? Yeah,
I think we've got to look at, we have an ageing workforce. We've just been in the main arena where there's a challenge for the industry to deliver 1.5 million houses. If you look at the workforce we've got, can we really turn the whip up to get that number? So can we look at timber frame construction, for instance, less reliance on bricklayers, keep the bricklayers laying bricks rather than blocks? We've then got to look at the future skills. Okay, so we've just said from electrical heating things are changing. We've got to bring people in and train them with future skills. We've got to make the industry more attractive to young people. So rather than go through school looking for a career in IT, are they going to come into house building? And then lastly, I think a lot of us have science-based targets. So we're looking at reducing carbon. So again, from sort of MMC and innovation, can we look at solutions that reduce the carbon footprint of the purchased goods and services, and even sequester carbon into the homes we build for the period of their lifetime?
It's clearly an area that motivates you. You can see that a long way.
Some of it's fear, Richard. We've got to deliver it. Yes. So and we've got to ready ourselves.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And then, what can the likes of NHBC and the future home standards and the government play in helping house builders embrace the new technologies effectively?
So I'm going to start with the government. So the government must give us clear, concise regulation, which must have considered any kind of unintended consequences or overlaps with other parts of building regulation. We need clear command verbs so we understand exactly what we need to do to comply. We need stable compliance tools so that what we are putting in is we know will be compliant. So that's the government side. NHBC side, we need you to be the builder's friend. Okay, we need to be in partnership with you. And View, we've spoken about MMC, we've spoken about new and innovative solutions. The NHBC Accepts, if we can see that as a rubber stamp that product has already had due diligence by our partner, that's going to be a big help for us going forward.
Okay, great. Finally, Are there any emerging technologies or practices that you think will be game changers in the next 5 years?
Yeah, there are. So one of the big challenges we have is the future home. We've got to find space for all of the technologies that we're now specifying. New build homes are already short of storage space, and we don't really want to be stealing any more of Mrs. Miggins's storage space. So where I see innovation in the next 5 years are those technologies that will give us a solution for a space problem. So if we can have, I don't know, for instance, a cylinder that's shaped to fit in an understair cupboard, for instance, that might help us. However, we're still taking the understair cupboard. Can we look at solutions to use other areas that we're already creating that are not used for hot water storage, for instance? So can we look at roof spaces? Can we look at garages? What about external locations? So that I'm sure there's some innovative work to do on creating those spaces outside of the customer's living space.
I've found the challenge has been the density required for plots and the space required for the homes now with the future home standards, and developers are looking at innovative ways to create space for the plant and equipment required for a future home.
Yeah, so footprinting is an issue because you've only got so much land. You are looking at wider footprints for the lower U value for external walls, but that's the right thing to do with electrical heating. So you've got to minimise your energy requirements first. But everything's going to get bigger. The houses are going to look like they've been on the all-inclusive buffet for 2 weeks. And you could potentially have the TARDIS effect in reverse, whereby the house looks a lot bigger from the outside than when you actually get in it.
Yeah, okay. Well, Jamie, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy the event.
Thank you, Richard. You're welcome.